Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome to our trailer reaction breakdown. We're just here to discuss some Stephen King, and more specifically, the trailer for It. Welcome to Derry has finally dropped online. Yes, this is the highly anticipated, I guess, HBO Max series. So, this has been kind of in the works for a little while. When did we first get news about this, Luke? Like what, 2 years ago or
Yeah, I
so?
think I think it was 2 years ago when I think we covered it on the Sunday Scaries when the news initially dropped. So it's been a little bit, and we've getting kind of sprinkles of news over the last couple of years. But you know, here and there, is it anticipated from my end? Not really, but it's a nice bonus, I would say.
Yeah, I think like the most pop that I've seen this get so far is that obviously Skarsgård's coming back to portray Pennywise, which, that's always welcome. I thought he did a great job with those films. And I don't know, we haven't really touched on the It films very much on this channel. So I think we should get our thoughts and feelings out there real quick about those, because like in general, I think that the first film is pretty good. I like it as far as the remakes go. I think that it's a lot of fun. I like the cast of kids. I think they all work together really well. It really builds that kind of, there's a monster in our town kind of classic story really well. And then the second one, I'm not too crazy about. I actually was very disappointed with it. I don't like the kind of direct turn they took with all the humor, and it felt like they were trying way too hard to be like Deadpool. And overall, I just felt like we just meander for so long in that movie that I just have very little rewatch value when it comes to chapter two.
Yeah, in general, I mean, I grew up with the miniseries. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
kids did, and with the Fear of Clowns, everything like that. I absolutely loved Tim Curry, but getting into the newer installments, I enjoy the first one. I think, the kid aspect of it works real well. They have a great dynamic there. I think Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is great. I have some problems with his performance. I always prefer Tim Curry's, just that is my Pennywise.
Yeah.
The second one for me is a big miss. I know a lot of people weren't happy with it. Too much CGI going on in that one. It didn't really work with like de-aging. Kind of really took you out of the film, I think. And then, but one of the positives I have about that film and why I'm intrigued by Welcome to Derry is that opening scene and how they lay the groundwork there and the characters there, and this that kind of weird tone that it has that you feel something's off. And I think that is where those two installments do excel, is kind of making the town feel really off with its characters. So I think building Welcome to Derry and implementing some more of those elements could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think you've always kind of said this when we talk about Stephen King, is that you feel like a lot of, and I just take this because I think it's a really good way to put it, is that a lot of Stephen King's stories, they tend to perform better when it's more, I guess, just the DNA of the story or an idea from a story that's kind of taking its own direction. Because I would agree with that. I feel like there's been a lot of, adaptations that, yeah, there's some that are more direct, like the Frank Darabont stuff, which is great, but then there's also just ones like most recently the Boogeyman, which we really like that. I enjoyed the way they kind of did that. Some people really liked the monkey a lot. I thought that was fine too. I like it when people can kind of take their spin and kind of expand upon a lot of the ideas. And I feel like for it especially, this should be something that benefits really heavily from this approach. I think like there's so much ground that we could cover with Pennywise as far as just what an entity he is, his true powers, his abilities. That I've always been curious to see what more you could do with him, because unfortunately the thing you get with adaptations a lot of time and remakes is you kind of keep putting him in the same and or similar situations that we've seen him in over and over again. And I got to be honest, as I'm watching this trailer, I'm kind of feeling like we're just doing a soft reboot of the first chapter. I don't know. I get a lot of vibes that this is just going to be kids finding out about Pennywise, freaking out about Pennywise, and figuring out how to take him down. Now, how that plays out in the show, we'll have to wait and see, of course. I hope there's more to it than that, but I get a lot of the same familiar beats from that first chapter, some in a good way, others again a little too much.
I know people are excited to see Pennywise show up in the trailer at the back end of it and really getting Bill Skarsgård reprising that role, but I'm really hoping that he's used really limited in it. And I think the idea of the book, it's a hefty book. There's a lot of source material there, and it opens up for a lot of different potential. I like the idea of Pennywise being this kind of cancer in the town of Derry,
Hmm.
affecting everyone, this overarching specter, if you will. I like that idea, and I'm hoping they take advantage of it. When we get into the actual trailer that's been released, yeah, they don't really give us too much. I got those ideas as well, where it really just feels like we're rehashing some ideas from what we've seen already in the past two installments in the with the movie. And so I'm hoping they go a different route. Maybe they're keeping that limited. At least I'm crossing my fingers in that aspect. We did see a lot of different characters popping up, adult characters, and we see that heavy influence from Pennywise. So I'm hoping that we're going to really double down on that aspect of it, really open up the town. Because when we look at Stephen King properties, and what really jumps out at you for a lot of those properties is the town. And that was one of my big problems with that new Salem's Lot, was the town didn't really feel like a character. They didn't really make use of the town in itself. So I'm really hoping in this miniseries that they open up the town, they establish some characters maybe that are unique, maybe new, something we don't know really what to expect, and we go that route with it. I would love here, Pennywise always going after children. I would love if we have some sort of serial killer. I don't know if they would ever go that route where Pennywise is influencing an actual person, and maybe they're even killing adults. So it's kind of getting muddled of, it's not just children, but where we can't really just use that as a focal point. So maybe we can even go that route with it. I'm really hoping they open up some different avenues that we haven't seen from any of the It properties and really make this unique.
I agree, and I love the way you kind of brought that forward, because I agree. I think that's how a lot of people who have really gone over this material take it when it comes to Pennywise, him being this kind of all enforcing cancer of a sort that's kind of, just infecting the adults, infecting their minds, infecting just the town in general. So it makes it more, grimy and stuff. I'd love to see almost the slow descent into that. Almost we start off like, relatively normal, see what Derry was before Pennywise's influence really takes over again. But I just fear that again we're just going to kind of find ourselves in those similar foot patterns. I haven't seen enough from Andy Muschietti, who's doing a couple of the episodes here, directing, writing. He's also one of the creators of the show, to really give me full confidence that he's going to do something a little bit more risky with this. I really hope that this is just the way the trailer's cut, and it's just the way that they're trying to bring people in by going off playing off of what worked last time. I just really don't want us to be in this same cycle with such an interesting property and such an interesting character. Now, from what we do see, I mean, I think that the tone and everything here is very consistent. Like, I think it looks there's no difference in my mind from the movie to the show here. So there's not like there's a big, budget decrease or anything like that. I'm just really curious, like you said, how they're going to flesh out this town when we have 6, 8, 9. We don't officially know how many episodes we have. How are we going to spend our time here? What time periods are we going to go over? What incidences are we going to witness?
Yeah, and it does jump out that this is very similar to those past two installments that we've seen, most eerily similar, where it might be a little bit concerning of we are just getting that rehash. Now, it could have just been that they're doubling down saying, okay, we're gonna make this real reminiscence, and then the selling point is Bill Skarsgård is it at the very end of it. We're gonna keep him, we don't really get a close up of him. He's off in the distance. We see his we make out that it is Pennywise, but that is probably going to be the selling point for a lot of people, especially if they're not keeping up with Welcome to Derry and saying, well, is this just an offshoot, or is Pennywise going to be there? Now, when we do these properties here, we always talk about it on the channel. You got to give us a reason. You can't just rehash a bunch of stuff and say, yeah, this is just a different time period. We make the joke about the Predator franchise,
Yes.
throwing the Predator in different eras, and that's really what you're just going to get, a rehash of different stories, just using the elements of the time period. So I'm hoping that's not what they're going to do here. I like that they are jumping back and forth between, different time periods, and we're going to get something different, but it is also reminiscent of the 1990 version because we did get that similar time periods as well. So I'm hoping that we do get something different. That's really, they got to give us a reason here. So I'm hoping they are going to open up that town, introduce us to some interesting characters, go off into some avenues we've never been in the It franchise, and really make this feel unique. Give us a reason. I'm here for it. I'm excited that Bill Skarsgård is back. The kids here, we don't get enough of them to say what kind of dynamic we're going to be playing with the kids here. So I'm hoping we're going to get some fun dynamics with the children, and even some adult characters could be interesting. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to get here. I just am hesitant that this is a rehash of what we've seen already in the past 2 theatrical releases.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna go in this with the most open mind that I can have for it, because again, even though I didn't care for that second part, I still rather enjoyed the first one. So again, if we can kind of take the best parts of that and move forward, I'm all for it. Now, the things that I think stand out to me the most here is, again, just all the different settings it looks like we're going to be kind of investigating or staying within the town, which I think is really good. We're definitely going to be spending, it looks to be a good majority of time, at least in the trailer, down near the Barrens. We get that fishing sequence that looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. It seems like they're going sneaking into a movie theater that says they're playing The Devil at 4 o'clock. So it's like, I don't know if that's going to be a setting, because like, again, I think one of the big things that people tend to forget when it comes to Pennywise is like his ability to shapeshift and adapt and just kind of put himself in these different areas and situations. So it's like, if they really lean into it, have fun with it, I could see this being a huge hit. But again, I worry that just going off of the creators from last time, seeing what they have in the trailer, yes, could be a marketing thing. I just haven't seen enough to completely sell me. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to. I don't think there's a trailer they could cut that would basically pull me away from feeling that way. I feel like I just need to sit down and ingest these, like I said, 6-8 episodes, whatever it's going to be, and make my judgment there, which, I mean, obviously that's what we should be doing. But as far as speculation goes, I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous.
Chapter 2 left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. So I think a lot of people are going to go into this with some PTSD and hoping we're not going to get what we were offered in Chapter 2, because you look at Chapter 1 and it has a lot of fun scares in there. They do hold up. You can go back and have a fun time with that. So I'm hoping they're going to, tap into Chapter 1 and the potential there and bring that over and from a scare perspective. But then one of the things that jumps out is that heavy Pennywise influence with the adults, where everyone has that smile. So I'm hoping that they're going to make the town feel lively. We're going to get some interesting avenues with the adults, and as the kids are trying to solve this Pennywise mystery, and they're dealing with the clown coming back. So I'm hoping they're really going to make use of the potential. That's what we got to do here. I mean, I think this is going to be 3 seasons, they said.
I believe that's what was pitched initially. I don't know if they're sticking to that or what's going on. I mean, God, it would be great if it was each season is a different era.
That's what it was initially.
Okay. All right,
I
cool.
think they were
So
jumping
God,
back.
3 seasons of doing this, where it's like, it doesn't seem like it's like, what is it, the 90s or the 80s in the last one? And then this one's
90s,
what, the 60s, 50s?
This is 60s, and they're kind of going, I think they're going all the way back to, I believe it was 1908.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In theory, I think that's what was announced. So I don't know if they're still doubling down on that, or they're going to pivot, or we're just getting a miniseries. Who the hell knows at this point? But I think everyone's going to go in here with a lot of hesitation just because of Chapter 2. So, I'm still not excited for it. It's been on my radar. Of course, we're going to cover it. It's a big horror property. I don't have Max. I don't know if this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be jumping on subscription services to get Max. Maybe they're going to wait for after that first episode to see, test the waters, gauge that temperature, see what we're going to get. Because I'm certainly going into this hesitant. Like you said, there probably isn't a trailer out there that's going to get us excited and say, we're doubling down. We're so excited. We're going to do a big workup to Welcome to Derry. I don't think that's in the cards for us, just because of, I'm fine with Chapter 1. Chapter 2 was a huge miss for me. So, this one, it's on my radar. I'm not excited after the trailer, but I'm also, not negative on it. So I'm just kind of really lukewarm on it.
Hey, there you go. I mean, it's what it is, and unfortunately, that's where we sit with it. I think again, I don't want to be overly negative, and I don't think we're trying to be at all. It's just we have to be realistic here, because it's very even though it is HBO and they're very prestigious and stuff. Obviously, a lot of people aren't happy with The Last of Us right now. I have not seen season 2 as of yet, but it's like I just think that again, the ideas you're pitching there to me as we're talking about going back to, what'd you say, 1908 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That sounds so much more interesting to me. Just knowing the kind of demon and critter that Pennywise is, and the fact that I feel like the further back we go, the less disguised he has to be, in a sense, where he can really play with some of those creatures and some of those forms that he can take and really build up the horror. I'm very mixed on this, but at the end of the day, it is nice that we are getting more, Stephen King properties. Of course, I like to see this expanded. I hope and pray that I'm eating my words big time when this does finally drop. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm just going to say, hey, it's something we're going to cover for the channel. I'm excited, but it's not going to be something I'm counting down the days for.
I think it could be a little more exciting as we work our way further and further back, since we are removed from those time periods for so long, and it's going to feel a little more unique to us. So I'm more excited to see what they're going to offer there. I just hope they don't dissect Pennywise too much and leave so much mythos, uncover so much mythos for us that, I think that's the fun of the Pennywise character. So I'm hoping they don't go that route with it. I hope they just go the time periods, make some interesting scares, give us a fun story, and really show us the potential that the franchise has. So we're here for it. We're we're not hot, we're not cold, but we're open to it. So what is this, October?
It says fall, so it's
fall.
not officially
Okay, so no.
set down.
I think it'll be a fun ride if this is in October for the Halloween month as well. Just something to pile on to the properties that are going to be coming out in October. So if it is around that time, I think it can get us pumped for the Halloween season. But we'll have to wait and see here. I think we're probably in for a couple more trailers. So, this could turn real quick for us. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and hopefully these are an hour apiece. We don't have any listings yet, but you think about it, 6 hours, there's no way they can, not give us at least something to chew on in 6 hours, right? Right? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, again, just, not the biggest thing to get us all pumped up and excited for us. But again, horror channel, horror content. We want to discuss these big titles with you guys, and more importantly. So let us know down below, how are you feeling about Welcome to Derry, or It's Welcome to Derry? Is this something that you're really looking forward to? Are we absolute madman? Are we bonkers for not jumping out of our skin for this one? Or is this something where, just like us, you have a little bit of trepidation and just going to have to see? This could easily turn into a thing in my book where I see this like having a kind of a middling, more or less positive but not smash success first episode or premiere. And then like the next week we hear, oh, the numbers for Welcome to Derry really improved, if they earn it. So that's where I sit with it. Because again, you got to look at the history of horror on HBO. Like I think the last big one was Lovecraft Country. The Outsider was another adaptation, which I thought that was good. I like that. But again, it's something it's never been like a huge set piece for them. You know what I mean? So it's never been something like that unless it's attached to IP. So we'll see how it goes. Again, let us know down below, and check out some of our other videos. We've got a lot of great stuff up on the channel. I just went through a few of my most anticipated summer horror releases, as well as we both got a chance to check out some films over last week. Lots of movies. We got Final Destination. We got Hurry Up Tomorrow. And of course, we got an early screening for Bring Her Back. All reviews available now. Check them out, support the channel, and yeah, that's probably going to wrap it up here for us. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.
Do the horror shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, gonna smash your ass. 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 Splattercast, gonna smash your ass.